Good
Chronicle.
evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. Before we get on to tonight's episode, we have a few things to cover. The first one is we're actually going to be doing a shorter, slightly half session today. For various reasons, the globe has decided to afflict us and ruin our lives. And as we bow down to the ever-rotating machine spirit that is the globe, we must succumb to their whims every once in a while. Basically, we were going to take a slightly half session today. We still wanted to play, but we're not quite up to going as long. And there we go. So we're going to be taking a half session today. Second of all, if you like these broadcasts and want to help us out, there are plenty of ways to do so. Monetarily, you can join us on Twitch by becoming a subscriber, or heading over to Patreon. Patreon gives us the biggest slice of the pie and helps us create more shows like this one. Alternatively, there are plenty of free ways to help out, and one of them is being accessed right now, and that is by being an active participant in chat. Did you know Twitch no longer acknowledges that lurkers are a thing, so make sure you send a message every once in a while just to show that you're here and you're supporting us. Next is liking anything you see of ours, whether that's a social media post, a broadcast, or a short, or anything of the above. Give it a like, give it an interaction, help us in the algorithm. Finally, you can find our completely royalty-free soundtrack, The Elendor Chronicles Volume 1, over on Spotify. It is an album of music dedicated that you can use completely royalty-free in your broadcasts and in your creative works. Just give us a little heads up if you want to. Other than that, we're never going to claim anything from you. We just take any of the meager, tiny royalties from people listening. So if you want to help us out, just add it to your D&D playlists. Add the music to your whatever you use for your D&D playlist. Just add our music in, and it helps us out. Without further ado, however, we're going to get on with tonight's episode.
Larfin butter?
Laughing butter? What on earth is laughing butter?
Butter makes you laugh.
I think you mean fluffernutters. I just say words. It's literally 3 o'clock in the morning for me.
Fair enough. Right, let us begin with a recap. So, last time on the Elendor Chronicles, we're going to do, and I promise you this won't take half the episode like it does in anime, to lead back to our pre-game discussion. The Skyfared Adventuring Company's mission in the Abyss continues. The remaining characters, Valymr, Breton, and Ruby, are currently leading an Ardathelian army to the center of Nullian power, a fortress known as the Bloodkeep, deep within several layers of the Abyss. In the previous episode, however, the siege had been ongoing for a long time, with the party recently breaking an artillery position that was hammering their base camp. Now, we leave as the various armies are about to go toe-to-toe on an open field of battle, the Nullians retreating back to their castle. In the previous episode, you also, or 2 episodes prior, should I say, you discovered another one of the Onyx boxes, this mysterious artifact that began the campaign. These large, marbling black boxes that actually encase a demiplane and normally a prisoner. You've uncovered a plane, or a plania pocket of the City of Brass, featuring a noble Afriti by the name of Dasmo, who you proceeded to free. You then dealt with and finished off with an assault on this large contraption carrying one of Null's most sacred relics, if not a piece of themselves. This relic, this machine, this horrible, horrible machine was carrying a vessel of pure necrotic energy, the very hand of the King of Undeath himself, Null, and utilizing its magic to power some sort of bell, which was creating this massive field of fog and visions and horror that was playing with everything. This tolling bell was removed from multiple planes of existence through both the lightning actions of your assault on the guardians of this great artifact, but also the absolute devastating wrath of Deus Ere. We left off with your party wiping off its wounds, dealing with any remnants of the Hand of Null, and actually reporting to Elwyn, who was commanding the main army from the rear, who told you, under no certain circumstances, that he would be fine to lead the assault. The army would do what it needed to do and what it came to do. You needed to rest, because they would need you before the end. So, we left off with you, I believe... Well, you're currently at the back of the army. Before we move on, though, I do need to give you the chance and opportunity to win yourselves a sessional inspiration. So... this is going to be a question taking you all the way back to Season 1. So apologies here for those who struggle with memory.
I don't accept the apology.
Okay, fair enough. After meeting two characters in a bar, in a, let's say, a city within the Rien, you all fought the Draconic cult for the first time. There is a 3-part answer to this question. 1, which city was your first incursion with the true
whiskey.
True form of the cult in? What?
I wasn't a whiskey, right? It was compound.
What was the
compound?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Finish the questions.
What was the name of the Draconic cultist? And finally, a event happened afterwards. I'm trying to be more specific than that, but a particular event happened afterwards, right afterwards, which caused you to flee the city. What was it?
Joanna raised the green barrier. She revealed that she had power.
Yeah, that was the terrorist attack on Compound.
Yep. So that's the city. That's the event that happened after.
No idea who the cultist was. Couldn't tell you, put a gun to my head. Sorry.
Yeah, the name of the cultist... I don't remember.
Not a clue.
Name of the cultist. We don't always get the names of the bad guys. I'm not sure if we ever got the name of that cultist.
If I went to Zepp's notes, he might have it, but
Zepp. If we did have it, Zepp would be the one to have it in his notes. We know that.
Yeah, I have no clue. Sorry. Been way too long, man. That was literally 5 years ago, man.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I can roll a shot in the dark here. I can grab my notes and see. Cause my notes go back.
Let's go.
That's-
So, the way I'm going to work this is, basically, we have two. You've earned yourselves
I knew
two
he was a red.
inspirations. You've earned yourselves 2 inspiration. This is for your third. So this is essentially so you can all have 1 each.
I knew he was a red. I knew that.
Red? What? You mean the dragon itself?
He could transform like he was a half dragon, I think, or something like that. Been a minute. God.
The one that we fought in the middle of compound.
Yep.
Yeah. I swear he was a red.
He was the one in compound was a red.
Because they could transform into as humans and then turn into dragons or some akin.
All I have in my notes, because apparently I'm the one that killed it. Young red dragon in compound. I wrote it in my kill list. I would if we knew the name, I would have written the name because I have Xenopharius and Lord Vicatus and Mushroom Jack and all that kind of crap in here. So
Mushroom Jack.
Mushroom Jack.
Yeah. Because he was turned into the mushroom thing in the sewers. So I called him Mushroom Jack after at that point.
I remember.
But yeah, no, young red dragon in compound is what I have here.
Like.
Yeah. I have a note on it's like the compound was attacked. Dragons and the cult of the betrayed sapped the largest towers. We helped the crown prince of the Rien, Wolfston, and his demigriff mount, Hephaestion. I have that in my notes. But it talks about, but that's it. It doesn't talk more in depth about the attack on compound, nor does it mention the leader of the attack at all. Wow. And then he goes on to us going down to the local blacksmith in the dwarven region, which I don't even have that in my notes. What the name of that is? Those notes became a little more erratic as time went on. So no, I do not have the name of the red dragon leader of that.
We didn't speak with this dragon either.
She gave you her name in her opening speech. So it's one of those when you miss it. Yeah, there was back in the day. Her name was Diagora.
Would not have remembered that in 1,000 years.
Honestly, that rings bell. I don't. It should. It don't. It probably shouldn't, and it probably doesn't.
Not a clue.
Actually, ring a bell,
So
but it feels like it rings a bell.
You guys are getting yourselves 2 sessional inspirations that you can use amongst the team, instead of the full 3.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
One of these days, Mitch is going to ask us what every single gang in Retbury was, and be like, I fucking got you on that one. I got you on that one hard. That's in my notes completely.
Is it? Oh, I'm here for that because currently, like on the down low, I've been novelizing parts of my world, reworking it. Also been doing like loads of reworks to actually remove it from the D&D like structure of system, so it like doesn't rely on the same races, that kind of things. Like remove any of the copyright, that kind of thing. And I've been re-going over Repre recently and going through all the gangs and things. So hats off to you for if you can remember all of those gangs, because I'm currently writing about them heavily. So that feels very on brand.
It's not a lot of them I remember off the top of my head, but I remember there was the Marquis because we worked for one of them earlier on. That was where we went into the bathhouse and fought the were-rat. I remember that, and obviously had the Jang for that Mickey Mads worked for, and the Jang that Blackjack worked for, and then there was like 8 of them in total. There was a fair few of them.
Yep, there are. Yeah, the Marquis S is who you're thinking of. Yeah. Anyway, gang, you're at the you've just reported to Elwyn. What would you like to do?
Yeah, so I believe the plan was once we report to Elwyn, we didn't give him any further information because he's got a job to do, so we're going to make our way back into the actual camp itself and speak with the commanders who are not sitting on the front line, who are not organizing the attack.
Sure. Okay. Okay, so...
Midge,
Yes.
the Godmother's gift, does it not have a recharge period at all, whatever, or is that just...
It does have a recharge period.
It has...
You mentioned this last week. If you use all 3 charges, you have to do the ritual during the full moon. But if you only use 2, it has a far shorter recharge. I remember that.
I'm looking at the item. I don't see the recharge period. Other than if you expend all 4 charges, you must undergo the ritual. I don't see the standard recharge period.
Unless that is it. It just has 4 charges every time you can go do the ritual. That's an old-fashioned D&D item, but it checks out.
Well, Midge is a little old-fashioned for his D&D.
Hey, I love stuff like that. It's like, hey, this is a powerful artifact, but you get 4 charges of it, and you can only use them once a month. Like, nah, I'm on brand.
That's a full moon more than once a month. There's 3 moons.
You're right, because there's 3 moons on the planet, so there is a full moon more than once a
specifically
month.
it was only 1 moon.
No,
But
only
that would
one
also
of them
check it.
doesn't count. Only one of them doesn't count, so 2 of them count.
Okay, well, as I'm currently in the
let me
abyss,
double
I have a hard time telling what moon is out.
None of them. You don't get moons. No moon for you. No recharge in here. I think. I don't know.
Then I'm gonna be unattuning from this item because well, I need.
Well, once it's out of charges, yeah, it makes it kind of hard to use it. Well, I mean, you could use the last charge and then unattune from it and attune to something else. At least until you can do the ritual again.
Is there any danger of you use the last charge, you never use it again?
Not that it's written.
This item recharges once per full moon. But yeah, this item recharges once per full moon. But it's all true.
Not like 1d4 plus 1 a day or something. Or at dawn. Or I guess moonrise, since this is kind of its thing.
Yeah, if you want to go for ritual more. Right, let me work out what day it is.
Yeah, that's the other thing that comes about when you have things where like this recharges every dawn or every moon. It's like when you're in other planes of existence that don't necessarily have a moonrise or a dawn rise or the moon's not reflected. Does the magic item just know? Is it a situational thing? Like once we enter into the abyss, is that just kind of like on hold until we come back and do the other one? There's an interesting point about that in Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus, where it talks about a couple of werebores, whom, because they're in hell, where there is no moon, their transformations are not beholden to a full moon. So they just kind of ride around as their full form all the time.
Well, Midge is figuring out the day. Speaking of were creatures, I had a fun joke I heard a while ago about werebears. In old 3rd edition, they had to be lawful good, I think.
Yeah, you would. I know exactly where you're going with this. You would fall asleep and you wake up the next morning and you'd built this cabin for orphans. in your transformation, you woke up the next morning and you built a cabin for orphans. You've ousted the local bandit guild.
Can you roll me a D? Can you roll me a D4?
3.
Okay. So you have regained 2 charges. Because
So I have 3 charges.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because actually, there is a full moon today.
Sure.
Because it is the 20th of Father's Dawn, 1421, and the silver moon, the largest of the 3, is in full tonight.
So it does not regain all of them. Item recharges once per full moon.
It looks like it's
One
1d4 -1 each time a full moon is out.
Yes.
What is the current date in game?
It's the 20th of Father's Dawn, 1422.
Okay.
I also compulsively clicked on the calendar the second that he asked that.
I clicked on it and then asked. I was wondering if it was up to date.
Yes, it is a Ferrer's room.
I think like 3 of the party, there's only 3 of us left, have our birthdays next month as well. Are we all in Gold Grace?
Is that the October of the world?
No, July.
Let's see here. Breton's in Gold Grace, Valymr's in Gold Grace. Yeah, so Breton's and Valymr's are both next month. Ruby's and Darius's are in Amber Seed, and Zepp and James are both in Deep Frost. Well, of all the months, all the people who we have listed birthdays for, we doubled down on months.
I just went with my own birthday, because then I'd be able to remember it.
Yep.
I definitely didn't do that.
No, it's there's an extra month in this calendar and more days in this year.
Don't matter. Don't matter. It's the 7th, 21st of the 7th. That's what we're going with.
It's 13 months. 2 of them have 35 days. The rest have 30.
That's fine. I wasn't born in the 13th month, so it don't matter.
Anyway. You return to... Zara gives you all a lift, shall we say, back to the main camp. Or did you decide you wanted to walk?
Breton, I think Breton was going to walk, but that was just more... He was not in any hurry to get back to camp.
Sure. The majority of your forces are in the line of battle, including commanders. There is a token camp card, however, like an auxiliary, and the person in charge of camp right now is Rosalinda. As obviously as well, wounded will be being ferried back. But yeah, it's weird seeing camp this empty as a whole. There's like, obviously there's like doused cook fires, empty tents. In the distance as well, you just hear like war cries as at this point, the front line, the vanguard of your ground forces clashes with the rear guard of the retreating Nullian forces. Battle has officially begun, and the march on the keep also. But you return to camp, and Rosalinda meets the three of you with a confident smile as well.
Is everyone else leading forces other than you?
Yes. I wanted to be amongst the men as they fought, but nobody else would have it. So instead, I am leading the rear guard, protecting the camp, and waiting for wounded.
Somebody must.
Somebody must.
We need to tell the frontliners and the army itself, the commanders, that when we destroyed the hand, there was an explosion. And if the heart is of any indication of what might happen if it is destroyed, we don't want our arm anywhere near it when we destroy it.
We haven't even told them about the heart yet.
That too.
There was a hand. That was what was responsible for causing the fog. As far as we can tell, it was the hand of Null itself. It's what they were using for it. Within the keep, there are mentions in this book that there may be a heart as well, the very core of Null's being. The thing that is allowing him to put himself back together bit by bit and time by time. Our priority has changed, we believe, and that is the heart must die. If the heart dies, then so too may the center of Null's worship and power fracture. A change that would potentially undo much of this cult plot, as much of it as we can even see going on here. That seemed to be too much of a distraction for people who are actively leading forces. So for now, we are telling you, and when they have a moment of reprieve and we can plan the next step, we will inform them as well. But yes, the important note is that when these things are destroyed, it is a devastating effect, one that seems to echo throughout the very fog that is there. So either we need to find a way to shield the group from the fog as they are, find places where it does not touch, or when the heart is going to be killed, the keep must be evacuated of friendly forces, which means they are not helping us take the keep. It is a messy situation we will have to come up with a solution for. How are you doing? Is there too many wounded? Are you managing to hold the line just fine?
No one has made its way back yet. I expect there will be, but we've had nothing yet. It's just been... The army has only begun yet, what, half an hour? 45 minutes? It is an uneasy feeling. I'm no stranger to combat or battles, so to be sat on the sidelines, it can be very frustrating.
Being forced to wait is a painful thing.
Yes. But patience is a virtue. What you say about the hand and its recreation? It sounds a lot It sounds a lot like Lich lore. I don't know how familiar you are with Liches, but it sounds very similar, which makes sense for the god of undeath. And it's good to know that we are here of such righteous purpose, even more so. Evacuating an entire citadel whilst we're sieging it is going to be...
It's going to be complicated because depending on the positioning of where people are, if they're attached to that fog, then it may very well just consume the very army that we are here to hold the keep with, and that is not effective use of our time, life, or strategy all in one. We'll have to figure out something for it. Ruby, when you blew a hole in the side of the keep the first time, the mist was pouring out of the center, that big hole in the middle. So I think it's a pretty safe assumption we know where the heart is. It's in the middle of the keep. It is in that large ravine that is set at the very heart of the keep itself. Makes sense. One idea for this, and this is just one that I'm going to potentially throw out there as it makes sense. There's a hole in the side of the keep. That is where there's a lot of the mist pouring out of it, and there's also the center at the top of the keep. Could we seal that? Could we seal it to minimize the amount of mist that gets out of it?
How big's the hole? 15 feet? I can, yes. I can lock it in with a wall of force.
We'd need to... Well, that's the side. We also need to seal in the top of it as well. We need to get another look at the castle and make sense of that. But if we could seal off the hole itself to limit the amount of fog that is getting out, we could potentially much more limit the damage that would be done to our forces when we eventually kill the heart. Once we get in there as well, it also wouldn't hurt to prevent reinforcements from coming in on top of us wherever we're fighting. There's points to the strategy that I think would go a long way for us.
I can theoretically... Was I double checking real quick? Because wall of force is a wall, I can actually make fairly large duration, extension, 10 minutes. I can make it 20 minutes. Theoretically, I could dual cast it, but that would be very difficult after a while. So I can block off one of them for certain for 20 minutes?
It'll be a nightmare for us, though, because we will be trapping ourselves with it. And if what the hand was capable of is in a judgment, I imagine the heart might be worse.
Yeah. Well, That's why they pay us the big bucks, isn't it?
Wait, we're getting paid?
Just slow turn to Valymr. The joke. We haven't gotten paid for anything since the Skyfire went down.
That's not true.
I think definitely the idea of using Wall of Force seems like something we could use to protect the army.
Also, there are other incantations that, well, I don't have. I'm certain other wizards around here. Was it Stone Shape or something like that? Could also work.
Sealing off the main keep area where the heart is, just to keep the fog from getting out, seems like a good call if we're worried about the devastation it will cause when it finally does go up. There are other also more mundane plans. I don't know if we have any beings in our army, I doubt it, that have access to even simple things like wind and the ability to create corridors where the fog itself can't travel, or pockets where people can stand and hide. But that is magic I don't think we have in droves in this army. That would be more druidic in nature, and we don't have much in the way of druids serving our forces. The idea is we need to come up with something for that, and that is not a down the road problem. That is probably going to be a very quickly coming up problem.
Most of the mages are probably not deployed. I can go attempt to find one, but for Stone Shape, but that probably is not viable.
Your army didn't have mages.
None at all? None whatsoever?
Nope.
We have warriors, we have knights, we have a few paladins. The only real cleric in the army is Rosalinda,
Who is in front
because
of you.
everyone's cut off from the gods.
Yeah.
Me too, but yeah. Well, I guess Wall of Force is kind of our best bet for now, unless I can cast Summon Celestial Bob the Builder.
We'll sleep on it, and we'll see what we can think about, because we have time here. The other idea is, depending on how big the heart is, sealing the heart inside the Wall of Force.
Yeah.
I considered that better, but it's going to be large. If the hand itself was large, and the heart is probably not of equal size at the very minimum.
The idea being
something that might help with that. If it's less than 20 foot across, then I have a spell that can seal it in a big old cylinder.
Cylinder?
Magic circle.
Magic circle, yeah. It's worth testing to see if that keeps mist out or mist in.
Might work, yeah, actually.
It would take about a minute to cast, though.
It was actually one of the spells that Breton was considering casting before the battle, as I think about it. But yeah, it takes 1 minute to cast. You have to prepare it ahead of time. And that would mean 1 minute.
Kills you.
And that would be 1 minute of facing the heart as it is putting off those increasingly dangerous necrotic pulses that the hand was putting off.
Yeah.
Probably stronger.
It is an idea. It is absolutely an idea, and one that might be worth investigating. But even just limiting the angles that the heart can put out the mist is a thing. The other thing is, wait, no. We gotta hold on. Let's not. I'm stepping here. The hand didn't put out the mist. The hand generated energy to the bell. The bell was putting out the mist.
Think so.
Yeah.
So, and when you manage to prevent the hand from sending that energy to the bell, the mist stopped being generated.
There's a disruption, yes.
So it may not be that we need to seal the hand. We just need to prevent the heart from connecting to whatever is actually generating the mist. If you put a wall of force under the bell or whatever was responsible in this case of letting that mist flow out,
it might work. Now, that being said, the hand was casting magic, and while Wall of Force is extraordinarily durable, I can't guarantee it cannot be destroyed. It would take something more than dispel magic, which is good for our favor, but
yeah. We'll have to think about how we want to approach that, but it simplifies the situation. If we don't need to completely encapsulate the hand, we just need to ensure that whatever the hand is using to generate the fog is denied. That seems a far easier thing to do. It gives us an immediate plan of action, which you know what we can work on.
It could also be, just as a throwing it out there, it could just be the heart is the fog generator and the bell was the conduit for it.
Well, we saw this with the platform, right, Midge? There was the hand. The hand was sending the green light up into the bell, and the bell was, as it was moving, it was causing the fog to come out. Once the hand was cut off from the bell, the fog stopped coming out.
It's also worth noting that the first time I cast Dies Irae at the castle and blew a big chunk into it, I can't say for certain that I hit the heart, but I aimed for center mass of that castle. And fog started coming out pretty quick.
I think the heart is lower than the keep. I think it's beneath the keep. But I think the tower you hit was definitely where it's set down in the base.
So as a reminder, there was already fog over the castle when you shot.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It's just the fog started moving because their forces reacted.
So there's no way to tell if I actually hit the bell or not.
No.
Or the heart.
No, you were firing blind anyway, so...
Dies Irae may not be able to destroy it in a single shot this time. It is a powerful spell, but every part of me is telling me that the heart is going to be significantly stronger than the hand.
No, we'll have to damage it as much as we can before we can worry about doing that. Though it's a point, if the hand does have access to magic, then giving it as many things as we can to have to deal with and destroy and negate, then doing that before we start triggering things would also go a long way. Darkstar did a great job of stealing the hand away from the bell. So if the heart works in the same way, and we should continue to operate under that assumption just because it would make sense, then that would mean that we can stop the fog just by using Darkstar. So I say the plan being to use Darkstar on the heart. If it dispels Darkstar, then we have other lower spells, because All of Force is also a good plan to seal off whatever would be generating the fog. There is stages we can use in the plan as we adapt to it, and an adaptation plan is a good move to have.
Given my experience with the undead and their capacity to spell my magic, I would like to try to use the lowest possible resource for the most maximum effect this time. I would like to start with Wall of Force and see how that works, let them drain the resources trying to burn it, then burn my 8th circle slot for Darkstar just to have it dispelled the following round of combat. It's a very valuable resource. I would like the to most possible chance of success using it. If that makes any sense.
If we're in any other situation, I would agree with you 100%. We need to be able to kill the hand, and Darkstar definitely does that. And we have no assurance of how many times it may be able to dispel, or what magic it has to dispel lesser magics. And I don't know what Valymr or I could contribute as effects that it would need to dispel. I think the only thing it's going to be trying to dispel is what you're throwing at it. Now, if you have like a wall of light or other spells that might be inhibiting it or cause it to pain, that it would be like, I need to get rid of this, sure, but there's not a lot Valymr and I are going to throw at this that it's going to think it needs to stop.
No wall of light, unfortunately. But the last time we fought the hand, we were doing okay against the zombies, but it was rough. And inside the keep will be even harder because we're going to have to pull our forces back.
We separated. We separated at the start of that fight. We needed to separate not quite so fast. We needed to focus on the ads, as it says, before we focused on the hand.
I will say as well, in the field here, we were surrounded. in the keep, I think there's going to be more opportunities for being able to hold a choke point. Brenton, you're as wide as a door. You can hold a door. I can poke around the sides with my glaive. We can hold ground to give Ruby the opportunity to do all of the Ruby things. There's a lot of them. And I think we're going to be capable of holding against larger odds than we would have been against this moving building that we were just fighting on. At least that's the hope. I don't know. Confined spaces might benefit us, as we are, outnumbered quite significantly.
We should assume that they're going to have a lot of forces defending the heart in those areas. We're going to have to fight through them, and we're going to have to fight them as we're fighting the heart. But the simple plan there is, as important as defeating the heart is, if we have 12, 15 individuals trying to kill us while we're doing it, it's going to make killing the heart harder. The heart can wait until we've trimmed their numbers and we can attack it safely. But yes, setting up a spot once we get a look at the lay of the land, finding a spot where we can fight it safely, we can protect ourselves, is going to go a long way.
Yeah.
I think as we go into this final battle as well, I think the blessing of... Oh, crap, I have to scroll back up through the Silver Chalice to know which of the blessings it is. The ritual of the hero's aid. I think that holy aura, the effect on that, was monumental in that fight. I think the inconvenience of put... Theoretically, if there's only 4 of us in that room, there are 4 uses of that we can channel out to keep ourselves safe. And that's assuming that we only take Zara with us, which I assume we're going to take Zara with us, because I don't think she's going to willingly let this fight go down without us.
No, she would be pretty mad at that.
She's also one of the... Well, actually, she is not one of the people who's adept at dealing with necrotic, because she bypassed that buff.
She can also bring us there easily with the flying taxi service.
Which is bringing us to point number 2. Do we want to just drop down into that hole, or do we think that's a bad idea? If we drop down on top, we can definitely get to it potentially far more directly, but then we are not dealing with the things that are going to be coming out of presumably whatever side passages, hallways, and tunnels to reinforce that chamber.
They wouldn't expect that. There's something to be said for doing the unexpected.
We've done it 4 times already. Do you think they wouldn't expect it?
I would bet money they're prepared for it.
To quote the famous hero Napoleon, if you do the same thing over and over again, eventually your enemies will learn to adapt to it, no matter how great a strategy it is.
It's a shame he never figured that part out until after it was too damn late.
It's not a shame at all.
Yeah, no,
Shame
for the greater European area that didn't want to live under the rule of France, I think they're quite satisfied with the result.
It's like it's only the Polish that actually like him. The French apparently don't, as far as I'm aware.
Really? The French? Anyway.
I was told that by a French guy, and I was like, wait, really? I thought you guys revered him.
I know, America likes him,
the 100 days really hurt his image in France.
I know America likes him because he sold, most of the territory from the Mississippi West.
Louisiana Purchase, yeah.
Well, hey, listen, he needed money to wage war. It was what the guy was good at until he wasn't anymore. But yeah, no.
I thought you were about to say he needed money to wage war, just as the founding fathers intended. That's what I thought you were about to say.
No, that wasn't where I was going with that, Midge. The less we say about America's history, the better. Because listen, I know everybody's got skeletons in their closet when it comes to founding a country. Okay, the less we should remember
America's
it and never
playing
forget.
catch up.
Yeah, let's not. The less said about that, the better.
That catch up, speedrun any %.
But yeah.
Anyway.
So, take a rest. When the others come back, we'll inform them the same, and we'll talk about what our plan is to move forward. If we
Are we sure that there's another hand?
We know there's a heart, not a hand.
Heart.
Right. Because I kept hearing the word hand, and I was like, didn't we kill that thing?
I think it may have been a slip of the tongue that we kept saying hand when we were talking about the heart, but the idea is the next hand, which is the heart, to do that.
At least we don't have to deal with Null's foot.
Shit.
Your camera is... That camera is actually moving.
Yeah, no, it's an earthquake.
What the fuck?
Aftershock, or are you good?
I'll let you know in a second.
No, that seems like that might be an actual... I mean, to be fair, aftershocks of a 7.6 can be up to, a fairly substantial number. You could get a 3 or a 4 even in there.
Empathetic.
Sympathetic earthquake.
It's calmed down. Mostly.
Crazy. Your house have suspension?
So they're actually designed for it, yeah. Japanese houses are designed for earthquakes. And the Tohoku region gets them frequently enough that they're extra reinforced for it.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know. It's the whole world goes wibbly wobbly. It's fun.
Mm. Well, it's not the whole world. It's only the place that you chose to go live in.
I didn't choose shit. That's not true. I told my wife to do it, but anyway, I'm here. We're good.
If this is, I'm looking at this. So yeah, there was a 7.6 in Amori. I'm seeing Hachinoe, Honcho, and Honcho.
Hachinoe got it. It was close. It's about 45 minutes south of me. They got it worse. It was a 7.6 at the epicenter. I got about a 5. They got a 6.
Yeah, looking at this, the 7.6 was centered in Aomori.
Mm-hmm. That's my prefecture.
Yeah, and the 5.5 was in Hachinoe.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm checking because one amazing thing we do is there is a very comprehensive tracker of where and when earthquakes are happening that updates in real time. It's fascinating, and I was checking to see the most recent one looks like it was a 4.8 in Honcho.
Here's how I put a link in our Discord. That's how I get them.
I'm going to have a look at that in my own time.
Yeah, sorry. Well,
that's really cool.
For now, we rest and we see how the situation in the combat develops. I think that's all we can do.
Okay.
I'll be awake for a little bit. I'm gonna see who comes back for healing. I'll try to heal who I can before I go to rest.
Sure.
I wanted to actually, I know there hasn't been any casualties reported yet, Rosalinda, but I did want to sit down and talk to you about filling out the list of casualties that have happened thus far.
Okay. She agrees.
It's she's having to hurry up and wait right now. It's something to take her mind off of not being able to do anything. So
sure. No, she goes through with you her book of names.
Just add them all to my list, Midge, because every single one of these is going to be made into a tiny little metal tab that's going to be added to the side of Breton's pauldron.
Mm-hmm.
By the time that pauldron is going to look like something out of a 40K Space Marine by the time he's done. It's just writing that goes all the way along, getting up and down it.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can add that later. You don't have to worry about that right now,
problem.
Mitch. Now I think it's just a matter of I think we take a long rest and we prepare for the next stage. See if there's anything. Magic Circle is a really good idea. If we can get Magic Circle will be even great too for depending on how we approach it. Like if we want to seal hallways and just seal hallways from having access to that chamber if we go through them.
Yeah. And they last for an hour. No
concentration. Yeah, you just have to get them set up.
Okay. Yeah, Valymr, are you doing anything? In particular?
I'm gonna make sure and see that, you know how we've got the walkway going up the cliff. We have the various like barricades going up there. I'm gonna make my way around to the barricades, make sure that they're all, sturdy and functional and not in disrepair. Any of the bodies of the undead that are on the walkway still, I'm gonna throw them off the cliff, and then I'm gonna take a short rest.
Okay.
Are we done? For real?
No, you don't get to be done.
Okay. Valymr, as you explore the barricades, give me a perception for a bit.
Sure thing, boss man. Nah, 10.
A 10? Okay. You're making your rounds and you come across a young man standing with his crossbow. Who is on guard duty right now. And he clocks you. He looks up and he was kind of slightly slacking off. Not into a thing where he's unattentively looking, but it's just like he wasn't full attention. He was kind of like resting slightly on a part of the barricade, but as soon as he like clocks you, he stands up, like readjusts his like shoulders and his crossbow, and he gives you a nod of Lord Kensek. How's it going down there? Do you know?
Waiting for a word from the main force, but for our part, we seem to deal him a bit of a blow. Hopefully, it's helped out the main guys, and they'll all be coming home. But seems like we're about to be in a bit of a calm before the storm situation. Although it seems like we're always in that. We're either in the storm or the calm before the storm. There's no just calm anymore. You seeing anything?
He points out, it's just like, it seems like our forces are giving them a good hiding. They haven't, they've made good ground along that. He's pointing, and he's like, they've made really good ground along the causeway there. I did notice some of our aerial troops having a harder time of it, though.
What elements have they got from the air that are fighting those?
They're taking a lot of ground fire. It seems that before, I don't know, I'm not a tactician, but the intensity of what is being fired has increased since the fog lifted.
Maybe they are more visible, although I thought their forces could see through the fog. That's good information, thank you. Well, I think so far we've been relatively lucky. Especially surprising not to see much in the way of subterfuge. Our enemies seem to be rather stupid, let's say. Hopefully they stay that way.
I'm all here for a stupid enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you get back to your leaning, and I'll continue down the water causeway.
Okay.
There's no. I'm especially looking out to see if there are any of our own as well that have fallen that we've like maybe missed. I'm just making sure that we are,
Where are you going?
completely sure. I'm just walking down the causeway down to the plains,
down
and
to
then I'm
the
going to walk
plains.
back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be about 30-40 minute walk there and back if you're. You can do
fine.
so. There's a lot of. So as one of the things that you heavily note, as you do so, is the fact that the causeway is now lined with burn piles, in which your forces gathered up many of the undead and the not undead of the enemy, and essentially burnt them to prevent in an attempt to stop another resurrection.
Yeah, makes sense. So very unlikely to find any of our own. Good.
But
it's already been cleared.
Yeah, your force has been strong at work. Remember, you spent a long time as well on the lighthouse as well in between the main battle.
Right. Have all of the barricades been repaired as well?
It seems that way, or at least enough that at least enough where it's not going to where it's still usable as a barricade. Obviously, some of the damaged parts have been reused, etc.
Okay.
But no, it's odd in a way as you progress up and down this path that there's so many signs of battle, and it's there's a bit of an eerie quiet to it. Like, can you give me a perception check?
Sure. Nope. 9.
A 9. You see something glistening within one of the burn piles.
And is this burn pile currently burning or no?
Smoldering. It's got a putrid stench to it.
I use a mage hand to whatever is there to hear.
Looks to be a piece of blood silver. But it's shaped like a holy symbol.
Do I recognize the symbol?
Make a religion check.
The thing I have a +6 on, roll low. The thing I have no modifier on, 19.
Hey, no, that's great. Yeah, this is relatively familiar to you. You don't know the name per se, but this is you remember this actually from your childhood's the wrong term, but like from your youth. It is the name of a drow god of death. Like, it was a drow necromancer associated probably with Null, or at least maybe was a form of Null. Something of the sort.
Okay. Do I have anything that I can destroy the blood silver with? Probably not. I will pocket the blood silver for now. I think we've got a bunch of it. I'll just add it to the pile eventually. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that there are more than just undead Nullians. They all got to come from somewhere. I guess Null's got different aspects for different cultures. But a god of death is a god of death in the end of the day. As soon I've finished the round, I'll go up and I'll take a short rest.
Okay. As you begin your walk up as well, Valymr, you see what seems to be, as you get to the top, you turn back and look towards the path once more. And coming from the back of your forces, who are now probably halfway along the causeway, your forces are pushing them back fast. But you see a series of carts coming back, which you probably assume is either going to be for logistics reasons or wounded or otherwise being moved back. And Ruby, you probably clock this as well. And Rosalinda comes to your side and says, the first wave of carts are coming. Hopefully there is very little work to be done other than refilling ammunition. But
we'll see.
Further 20 minutes or so go, and by that time a number of carts arrive back in camp, and there is a number of dead and wounded as well being brought back on these carts. Not that many, however. Losses are pretty minimal, and a lot of these wounded are like the non-walking wounded, but like a lot of them will live. But you begin work, you begin healing who you can before you take your rest. Some who are essentially healed enough that you can bring them back to a fighting shape where they just offer to go back onto the carts once the logistics is filled up and get back into the battle. Others, not so much, where it's like they've had like crush wounds and things like that. Fallen victim of like one of the undead giants, perhaps. They might need a bit of a longer recovery, but others are ready to get back in. And some of the contingent that are here also guarding camp begin to start loading some of these carts with like more crossbow bolts and more arrows, and then also things, small things like crates of rations as well, some food to go down there as well, so that people don't have to go all the way back to this camp in order to get a meal if they get back to the back of the lines, for example, as they move up, especially as your forces are progressing ever more towards the keep itself. But yes. So you're all taking a long rest, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I thought we had a long rest recently, right before this little fight.
We did.
I remember being completely out of spells, and then we had a long rest right before the fight, and now I'm down just a little bit, to be honest. Pretty conservative in that one.
Well, our plan wasn't to immediately finish that and then a long rest. It's just that was kind of how Mitch kind of presented it. It's like, maybe that's what you should do. Like, you got time. Maybe you should do that.
You do.
So we are.
Yeah, I would advise it.
Okay.
So, in the time that you're resting, it's not necessarily a full sleep, but it's enough of a time where, Ruby can spend time, regain her strength in order to cast magic. You do finally get a little bit of almost a break, because even in your rests, you've been taking reports. This is the first time everything's kind of been out of your hands in perhaps months. At least for this entire campaign, in terms of like the march into the abyss. And it's hard. It is difficult to sit and watch Every hour or so, new carts come back and forth, more supplies, more ammunition, more wounded, more dead. Not as many as they could have been. And it's before long, it's towards your end of your long rest, a outrider comes. And Valymr, you have a shorter long rest, so I'll say he comes to you.
Okay.
Before you find the others. And the rider basically says, our forces, and he's a young knight, nicely polished armor, blue cloak, like one of those half cloaks they wears over like the corner of his plate mail, sword at his hip, and he just rode like the wind to be here. Elwyn has begun his assault on the outer walls. With the gatehouse already breached, we are already pouring into the citadel. And we begin to storm the outer defenses, taking out a lot of their artillery. It seems the Nullians, as we retreat in, the fog is also retreating more so. I feel like that it's trying to thicken around the... We think it is trying to thicken around the main citadel where that blood is pooling.
Okay. That's valuable information. I think as soon as my companions are rested, we're going to be joining you there. Have you a chance to rest at the front? Is there a rotation going on, or is it just fighting constantly?
Subtly. There is some are being brought back here, as you would have seen. The other thing is the engineers have broken off from the back of our forces and are currently working to unbarricade the bridge work, or work around the bridge works to the lighthouse island, so that we can set up a forward observation command point there properly. The flyers have managed to move a few people in and out, so we're tackling the problem at both sides. Elwyn is saying that a lot of things are going as planned, and the commanders are beginning to move into their own sections and siege the various walls and components as part of the basic attack plan.
Okay. How many have fallen so far of our forces?
You would know better than me.
Do you need to rest now, or are you on your way back?
I will be heading straight back. If you have information for me to pass on to Elwyn, Sir Elwyn, and the rest of the command. I'm at your disposal to get a report back, and Sebastian here is he's raring and ready to get back.
Just to not go into the fog. If the fog is retreating, let it. Don't try and push into it. Don't overextend. Make sure that any walkway you push into, make sure the side passages are clear. Don't allow yourself to be trapped. And we're going to be there soon.
I'll pass on that information. For valor and the next dawn, friend. And he begins to ride off.
Daylight, yes. I'll wait until these two, are
you can find
ready.
them.
Let them know, and
you find them pretty easily. Like I said, long rest doesn't have to be sleeping, and I doubt Breton got an inch of sleep. He just took what solitude he could. For example,
depending on how restful we get, Breton's probably been stenciling names into sheets of metal that he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure that all of them fit into the uniform method of which he's making these plaques that he's applying to his armor.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a cape of names eventually.
And Ruby's friend, Care of the Living.
It's like you said, he's covering his entire pauldron. Luckily, it's a big fucking pauldron. There's a lot of space to work with.
He gonna start having like the sheets hanging off of it, the very Imperium.
Purity seals? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Ruby. You find Ruby over a large cook pot, and she's just.
She's also healing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and what you find her doing is essentially bringing a meal to like a lot of the wounded who have returned, and then proceeding as part of that to, bandage wounds. Use what very little healing magic she can expend as part of the rest, that kind of thing. But using traditional means of medicine, a good meal.
Just call me Nurse fucking Joy.
Nurse fucking Joy.
Hey, red hair, kind of spunky. You never know.
Are there 27 of you, and the number just keeps growing?
Well, how many times have you seen me next to myself?
What? Well, kind of, yeah. I chopped their head off.
At least once.
Yeah. We literally, when we fought your dad, yes, I've seen that.
All I'm saying is, it's happened.
There's more of those? They sucked!
At one point, like you came back with different color hair, like it was an off season or something.
Yeah, I mean, branching out, off-brand, Tesco's own Ruby.
That's a joke that only me and you get there.
Walmart's own Ruby.
I don't know that one either.
Wish.com, I believe, is the term.
No.
Wish.com, yeah.
I think the easiest equivalent is like a Trader Joe's. Like Trader Joe's has its own brand stuff of like regular food.
Everywhere does.
Yeah. That's
In
what
the
Tesco's
States, like
own
Harry's
brand is.
Teeter
Like Walmart here, we have General brand. We have Walmart brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have Ruby at home.
Yeah.
It turns out Timo in Japan is actually pretty fucking good. Maybe because I'm local to them.
Wish.com is the other one.
Anyway, you all regroup.
Anything new, Valymr?
Yeah, we got a messenger. They're pushing into the keep. They're doing pretty well. And the fog is receding from them. They think it's trying to coalesce and performing a protective barrier for the heart. Told them to be careful not to follow in and make sure they don't get encircled, trapped, cut off. But we should get there as soon as we can.
If they try and siege that room, that may be a trap. But obviously they want to keep the heart safe. All we can do now is go for it.
Yeah.
All we can do. If there's any other preparations you have to make, and this is one of those times where I look at Ruby and I say, I know Sorcerer is great, but it would be great if you could prepare your damn spells and we could take different ones, because sometimes different spells are great.
Alternatively, I can cast Ball of Force for 20 minutes, so suck it, Trebek.
Or alternative, you could have, other spells that that aren't just Wall of Force. Listen, when all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail, but I don't have a fucking hammer. I've got an entire goddamn tool shed. I can pick any damn tool I want. If it's a hammer, I'll nail it. And vice versa.
I have healing spells, I have debuff spells, I have buff spells, I've got plenty of utility. I am not just a sorcerer.
I'm on Team Sorcerer.
I have a sword on a stick.
Anyway, gang, what would you like to do?
While we've rested, Breton's doesn't have the time to finish this. He'll finish this in time, because this is it's too pressed for this now. But I think now we've got some preparations. We will need to do the Platinum Chalice ritual because that has worn off at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we need to figure out who is going to come with us into the final room. Obviously, Zara is going to be there because she has been right through with us through thick and thin. I believe we should continue to use the Ritual of the Hero's Aid, if only because I believe using the consumption of that to protect us with the Holy Aura as we go in will make all the difference with the forces that we're going to have to face in there. Is there anyone else we want to single out as we think may be capable of handling their own in this room? With how many we faced in the last one, 4 of us, we managed. It wasn't what I would call the cleanest fight. And I think I don't think we take everyone, but I think we maybe take 1 or 2 of the stronger figures who are also resistant to necrotic. I think they might be the safest choices for this.
We would be... Zara pipes up. We would be trying to pick them out of an army. If they're already getting involved, it would take a little bit more time, but it's doable.
I know they don't want you to participate, Rosalinda, and we have no idea of what you're actually capable of. Do you want to be there? Do you want to be a part of this?
She looks and is just like... I would. It would, how you say, it goes against my order somewhat to not be at the heart of the battle with those falling around them, so I could be there. So going deeper would be a good way to offset that. And I wouldn't be disobeying orders.
If we are going to oust one of the last vestiges of Null's existence once more from this world, it only seems to be that one person who is actually connected still to the gods should be there to witness it. As we move forward into the army, I think we should try and also find Sir Isenbrand. He's a strong warrior. He's received the boon from Dasmo. It also makes sense to have him there. The 5 of us are strong. If we wanted, we could maybe pick out... If we wanted to find members of... I've already forgotten the house name. The vampire house. How have I forgotten the name? Havre.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. They are naturally resistant to necrotic. If any of them wanted to volunteer for the strike force to get more people in that room, more power to them. We would need to find them as we move forward through the keep itself, where they're stationing themselves to fight. But I think that's what we can grab of them as we go forward, but I think that is enough. We're going to give Sir Isenbrand a second chance to prove himself after the way the things went in the first combat for him.
Which one was Isenbrand? Was Isenbrand the Grandiose?
Sir Isenbrand is the guard captain. He was the one who was giving orders.
Oh, I thought Isenbrand the Grandiose was the greatsword guy. Or am I confused?
I thought he was the really jovial guy who was like, "You do that, you do that." He was listening to the guard captain, the commander of the forces.
Yeah, guard commander. He was like, yeah, it was part of like the capital guard force. Yes.
That's my vote. If you all have a different opinion, please let me know.
I have no disagreements.
I trust you on strategy.
So bringing Rosalinda, an extra healer, might not be a bad idea for this.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, if there was ever a time to bring her...
It takes some of the pressure off of Ruby of having to be the one who has to heal everyone, so... But I also think it makes sense. She is still touched by the gods. They're still working through her. Having her participate in this seems like a good call to me. So
try not to die is all I can say, because if you bite it down here,
she's getting a death ward from me. Don't worry, she's getting a death ward from me. I will dedicate at least 1/4 of a spell slot to keep her from we're gonna try and prevent that. I've also got some other stuff I'm planning on using in this fight that I hope will come out. So yeah, we're gonna do that. The awkward point is that we're not going to be able to give the ritual to people who are fighting right now unless we want to gather them up for an hour inside the keep with the chalice. I mean, we can try that. That might work. At the very least, Sarah, Rosalinda, and Sir Isenbrand with us getting the ritual. My hope is that once we get into the room, to have Zara activate her boon consumption and have her use Holy Aura on us. And that way she could focus on it. Because she is really damn good at keeping concentration. She's also got a really high spell DC. It's battle plan.
Well, sounds good. As good a plan as any.
Okay.
It would be nice, I'd say, maybe to have some of the Havarayans as well, to have the boon. Lady Theodora, the one that's been helping with the...
You want her in the chamber against the heart?
She's the best fighter the Havarayans have. And she's... If anyone's going to be able to help, I think she has the necrotic resistance as well. She'd be the one to do it.
That's your call, Valymr. If you want to extend that invite, we have 4 more slots after the 6 of us.
Yeah, if we're bringing Havarayans, then an invite will be sent. It's obviously it's a volunteer situation, but...
Mm-hmm. Again, I find it difficult to believe that many would not jump at the chance to volunteer for this. It's just the sort of army we have, but it's still just the right way. You don't tell people to do this. You let them volunteer for it. If they want to do it, they can. All right. Then I think that falls to you, Valymr. Once we get into the sea where the fighting is, your job is to find them and locate her to bring us to where we can do a ritual. I can look for Sir Isenbrand, unless Ruby, you think you'll be faster because you can fly around. And then one of us will start beginning the ritual and have it ready for when people are coming back to finish it for all of us present.
How many do we have that we can give the ritual to?
There's 3 of us. Rosalinda, Zara, and Sir Isenbrand is 3 more, so that leaves 4 people that can receive the ritual.
Okay. I will just find the Havarayans and say I need 4 that will go in, because I don't think it's a good idea to offer the invite to those who don't have necrotic resistance. So I will just offer it to the Havarayans, and then whichever ones of them want to join. I assume we're going to get 4.
It is better to be safe than sorry. I'm going to try and mitigate it all the same, but I still think being safe rather than risky is the good call on that.
No protection is 100% secure. Other than not being in the room at all.
I can go get the others. Give me a few minutes.
Well, we're all going down to the keep together because at this point they're in the keep fighting. So
yeah, they're all in there.
Excuse me.
Zara's down there already, right?
No, she's still at camp with you.
She's still at camp. Okay, well she can fly. It's all over there then.
Yeah. All right. We are taking the healer into the height of combat where she cannot heal the people, but we are ending the fight, and some say that the best preventative of death is to ensure that nobody dies in the first place. So
hell yeah. I mean, while she is the only one healing
available.
Magic, there are acolytes and individuals who are there. Like, she's not the only staff member.
We have apothecaries and individuals who know how to treat wounds.
So there's
it's not
potioners, people that are like doing medication. Like, that's the thing, is also like, prolonged
one of the people
use.
We actually lost was an apothecary. Fun fact.
Yeah.
It was Seraphine. She was a 58-year-old herbalist apothecary. I imagine was on the front line treating wounds when she was killed. If I had to guess, probably struck by an arrow or a magical spell. Bastards.
I mean, they saw that red cross and just used.
Listen, it's one of the concepts in modern warfare for certain forces is you don't kill the enemy, you wound them, because it's a lot more resources to recover a soldier than it is to bury one.
Yep.
Which is a horrifying concept when you think about it. When you start killing medics, though, you limit that chain of return. Because you're forcing them. Now you're burying your medic and you're going forward without aid. You're trying to eradicate the enemy, not defeat them. But this is a war of eradication, and it's rough.
Yep. Okay. So, Zara takes you all down to the army, which is kind of split into smaller combat groups. It takes you a little bit, not too long, but you essentially find on top of the remnants of the gatehouse of the lighthouse, actually, Elwyn has set up a command post where he can essentially watch the assault on the front of the keep from relative safety. There's also like crews of individuals like ferrying back and forth, and actually as well behind within the safety of the lighthouse fort, the air cav complement is currently taking a rest. But you actually see further along the walls, around the rocky crevices, you see ladders going up. You see what seems to be a group of engineers who have made a hand battering ram that are currently running it between some of the forces, shields over their heads. They're trying to run it into the first deeping wall of the citadel, the Blood Keep, probably to go take out an interior gatehouse somewhere. There are people climbing the rubble, people coming back, being helped across the rubble. But Elwyn is watching from the top of the left-hand tower of the gatehouse, where he's crudely thrown together some boxes to turn as a table. And near him also is his second, the other scout captain, still smoking, as he was the first time you met him. Still kind of nursing that wound he got initially attacking the abyss, but with every day he gets more movement in that arm. He too is there, and then you also see along the army now, which is arrayed in more of an assault position into the forces, the various banners of all the different kingdoms and the forces, and the nobles with their own crests and banners, the various holy orders as well that have also joined in, all of whom are beginning assaulting just different portions of the army. But Elwyn turns to you with he has a stern but firm smile. It's a case of he's clearly thinking and processing a lot, but he looks confident. He turns to you and is to you all and says, "I hope you are well rested. There's a lot is going on, but also thank you for the word you gave to our runner. We do not know why the enemy is retracting the fog, but we'd already assumed to stay well clear of it. Currently, we are trying to force full control of the first tier of this citadel. It seems to be divided internally as to 4 tiers. As we've gotten closer and a better look at it now, comparing with our previous notes as well, this first tier and second tier we shall have by the end of the day. It will be the 3rd tier and the final citadel where we will struggle. And that seems to be as well where the fog is retracting to. The hole you made that from the gate and the wall from here, it's they've done very little to repair the outer layers, but there is a clear signs of repair on towards the inner citadel.
The fallback shows the significance of what they are trying to protect here. It's not just the keep itself. There is something inside the keep that they want to ensure does not come to harm. Fortunately for us, we also know that is the source of what our attack will now entail. We are here to take that. We are here to destroy that. That is what our goal here is. The good news is we have a pretty good idea of where it is. They wouldn't be focusing our fog elsewhere. At least we don't think they would be. Which means it falls on us and a group of individuals we will take with us to handle that to the best of our abilities. The rest of you have a simple job. Take the outer levels of the keep. You do not need to push into the inner citadel, but to the 2nd tier, I think will be sufficient. As we push forward, we are going to be trying to limit how far the fog can extend. Which, instead of pulling it back, that should make our job slightly easier, though we'll have to deal with that in our own right.
Very well. What is... Yes, very well.
What is what? There's a thought there.
I am concerned. We need a way
voice
of...
concerns.
We need a way of drawing out more of their forces from that inner layer if you were to attack it alone. Otherwise, I do not see the wisdom of pushing to somewhere again where we can't support you. We need some sort of diversionary attack or assault more than what we're doing. If they're already beginning to hole up in there, it's going to be very difficult unless we do something.
We need to secure the keep one way or the other, because we're going to be holding the keep after this is done. Pushing into the second tier, we're going to do that. Rushing straight into the third tier, we don't know what we're facing off against. Let's secure the second tier. We'll make our way through that, make sense of it. The source of the smoke that was pushing along, I'm sure you saw the contraption that they were using to move everything along as you made your way down the causeway.
Yes, that was the machine that you spoke of before.
At the center of it was a hand that, as far as we can tell, as we mentioned, was connected to Null. Null's very hand itself, pieced together after the battles at the Green and Pleasant Day. Based on this book that we found, assuming that we can trust what is in this book is true, there is a heart at the center of this keep that also belongs to Null. The heart that is the center of the fog, the mist, the bane of our existence with these Nullian cultists everywhere. That is our goal. We end that, I believe we end this fighting. Period. Once that heart is destroyed, though, if what we saw with the hand is any indication, everything that fog touches is going to be a mess of necrotic conflagration. Hence why we want to limit as much of the army as possible that is in contact with it. We've got plans for that as we move in, but securing a proper foothold is also going to be a part of that, I will agree. So, Lord Valymr has voted that he wanted Lady Havare, or the lady and the Havarayans to take part in our fault for that, so we would like her to join us. We would like Sir Isenbrand, and Rosalinda has been given the opportunity to do this as well. Because she has been here, she has wanted to participate in the fighting, and we are going to give her an opportunity to do it in this last push. I believe we're going to need her.
Okay. He thinks for a moment. He looks to Rosalinda, who is stood behind the front group of you. And he looks back at you. I see wisdom in it. Okay. I will dispatch some runners to try and find the individuals you requested. The Havarayans currently are attacking one of the eastern towers. So they will be locked into direct combat for some time. Except for those who are part of the aerial forces. So Isenbrand isn't too far away, so he should get him in. He should be easy to find. Unless he's wandered off and gotten himself into the battle. Which, I Actually, knowing him is not unreasonable, but...
Focusing their defenses on the central tower where the fog is moving back to. Then I think once we've gathered this force, our plan is simple. We are going to join into whatever groups are breaching the lines leading to those towers and aid them.
Well, So, to exit roleplay voice for a moment, the way that the fortress is structured is like...
it's a cake. It's a multi-layered cake.
It's a
That's
multi-layered
the easiest way to think of it every time.
Yeah, and your forces are currently swarming tier 1, and will, by their current rate, think... You think it's going to be like you'll be at the taking most of tier 2 by like the 24-hour mark. If you're so assaulting tier 3 and 4 won't be happening for the army right away. But
so we are, because of the nature of this, if we want to not rush in and fight every single enemy by ourselves, we're going to be pushing through siege ticks just to do this. Okay.
Yes.
That's fair.
Or what Elwyn...
Or we can do it the dumb way and just have Zara fly us into the hole like she's done every other time. Let's just do it that way.
If you want to, there is so what Elwyn suggests is that we come up with a way of drawing some of their forces out so that you can do that. The question is coming up with that distraction.
I'm struggling to come up with anything that would be... What could we possibly show them, or what could we possibly use to persuade them to do that, considering what if they know what they're protecting in there?
Yeah, they're already buttoning up the hatches.
What if...
Is there a way to entice them into attempting a sortie?
What if we started constructing interior siege weapons? Or turning their siege weapons against them? Something that we could use to strike the higher towers that they would have to come out and fight against. That they could not just sit and wait.
That or present a seemingly easy target. Put something valuable in eye's reach that is much more protected than would otherwise let on.
What would that be? What would that be?
A theoretically open flank, a tower that we left lightly guarded, or a place where it seems like we're stockpiling things and not protecting it. Just ideas like that, but...
I have a very dumb suggestion.
We've won this fight so far on dumb suggestions, so let's see what you have.
Well, the Nalians are no stranger to the workings of the world, so to speak. They've been playing within the guideline, within between the guidelines for some time, as we are well aware. They are probably aware of certain artifacts that we hold. Not that we hold them, but if they were to be seen. Up until now, for example, the Platinum Chalice has been hidden within camp. Showcasing our own weapon of wonder in a semi-obvious position, maybe say right here atop the lighthouse tower remains. Feign some sort of ritual. Make it convincing enough.
To feign it, we could just do the ritual as well.
Maybe, but it's one of those things of doing a ritual, but also like a continual one. Bells, whistles, make it look like we're doing something even bigger than we've done before. A master active charade like that of what they tried to do with the fog.
Other missiles we can do.
Draw a portion of whatever. While it may not be able to truly, like it might force a sortie internally, but it would also draw anything big that they might have flying around in the hidden, waiting in reserve. It might draw something like that out.
Is there any word on where the flying Death Beholder might be? Has it been spotted at all?
They, in all observations, even before the fog, they never left that center courtyard.
Okay. That is going to be our problem. We know that, but I just wanted to know if it had been responding to anything. Okay. That is a good call. My only concern is how important the chalice is. The more important it is, the more likely they may do something about it. Yes, but at the same time, if it goes even slightly, potentially remotely wrong, if we lose that chalice, that is a setback.
Is there something of similar weight that we could do similarly with? Like,
will they have eyes on us?
We can
if we put ourselves somewhere visible, they would.
It wouldn't stand up to intense scrutiny, but minor image, just to make it look like the chalice.
That might not. A lot of creatures can see through minor illusions, or even just illusions in general. I mean, you can do that, and
especially
that's
fiends.
Not too unusual. I mean, we've got several artifacts that have been dedicated to this in any regard. If it's not the chalice, what do we have? We have the Blade of Equilibrium. We have Brayla's Heart is another one. Yes, the necklace.
The thing is, the chalice is big and visible, and it's
big and visible and noticeable. Yes.
And to further that,
it is not something that one were. Just to confirm, like this is my biggest fear. Like a mage couldn't just teleport here, grab it, and then teleport away. Could they? Mage it's too big for just a mage to do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then if they can't just they can't just jump on it and then dimension door that bastard out. I feel a lot more comfortable. Setting that on a large tower.
It in two hands or heavily have it strapped on your back.
Yeah,
you're probably the only party member who can handle it in that way. It is a. Yeah.
It's a large object.
Yes, it would be like trying to grab a person.
It has some heft.
We haven't discussed much about how we've been getting that around, but I guess it was just Breton has been carrying it because that's how big it is. With that knowledge, I am more willing to make a point of like picking. Do we want to do an exterior tower when we already control, or do we want to take one of the closer interior towers and use that one like we're trying to direct it as close to the fog as possible? Because I feel like the closer one would be more dangerous, but also more enticing.
Mm-hmm. It's that, or we have it very visibly here at the lighthouse, where it's further away. We'd be drawing less interior forces, but anything that flies, anything that can react will. And it'd be further away from the combat that you would be undertaking. That is the two options, relatively.
Over the table, Midge, do one of those have a more readily and accessible battle map, or is one of those a better plan for you as we ask that?
I mean, we know that Lighthouse has a battle map.
We know the lighthouse has a battle map. My question is, the lighthouse has also been leveled. I don't know if there's a high position for us to put the chalice for them to see.
The interior was leveled, but the front
the exterior wall is still intact.
The big gatehouse at the front as well, which is where you are currently, that's intact. Which is a double towered center gate. It's like a little keep in itself.
I like the lighthouse. We've used the lighthouse a lot. I also do like the idea of us just marching this silver chalice into an interior wall and being like, all right, you motherfuckers, we've seen your artifact, now here's ours. Let's show you what it can do.
True. And there is... The other option as well is to make sure we assign a very, very strong force around it, because we're going to have to look like we're protecting it. And we will. So it's like we could put it with myself, pull other champions, keep the flyers in reserve perhaps that are currently resting. That's, some of our more potent fighters as well. Perhaps even find a way to mimic one of you three. As in, through disguise.
You think that we should not be there to protect it?
Well, if the plan is to be, this is to draw people away from you, then no, you should not be here.
And this is, just remember, this is Elwyn?
Yeah, this is Elwyn.
I'm insighting on that one.
Sure.
I got a natural 20.
I got an 18, but he got a 26 with a natural 20.
Okay.
And I have the blindfold on, just if that makes any difference.
Sure. Valymr, I'm going to message you something after this session, but we're going to end the short session right here.
We're going to end that on that. Yeah.
We're going to end this short session right here. So
I'm glad my suspicion was it's like, it just kept building slowly but surely, and I'm glad that Valymr caught on to that too. It's like, wait a second. Wait a second.
I better not see some skulls behind those eyes.
Sure.
Some might describe this action as a bit suspicious.
Glad y'all caught it, because I'm falling out.
No worries. Anyway, all I've got left to do is to thank those who have been here. So thank you to Bethany Rose, to DM Lake, and to Lord Lambert. I've been Midgeman, and we've been the component cast covering the Elendor Chronicles. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Good night.